It was cool because you already had a consent on file for a credit report. And what was interesting to me was one of the first times I'd actually worked with a client, and because I'm usually doing more operational stuff, and actually looking at the credit report, and we compared the two, and it was the exact same report,
Same score, same debts,
same exact everything,
right?
right? And so we did it again. So then I referred you another client, right? And the reason that they came to us was that they were tired of working with the broker that was just going to do a hard pull them right out of the gate.
Right.
So can you tell me about your experience now that I assume you've adopted it, and you were telling me you send a link to people, adopting that part of the pre-qualification in your business?
Yeah, it's made a big difference because I believe, I'm not really a salesperson. I don't look at myself that way.
Sure.
I'm a passionate math teacher. And unfortunately, there's a lot of math that our school systems failed to teach people. And if people are taught the right math, especially passionately, because the heavy lifting is up front for the borrower, we have to create a give and take. So if I have, for example, before I knew about iSoftpull, if a borrower comes to me and they say I have, 800 credit. Last time I looked at it, it was 780. I don't make them run credit. I don't want to run credit for them. They're confident where their score is at. My next step is let's qualify your income. And if your income qualifies, then I'm going to run credit for multiple reasons. One, why do I want to pay $50 to, run somebody's credit? And, and really number one is, do they really want to inquire? They need to learn how, I do business.
Right.
And it's a trust building process, especially if it's a first introduction. So return clients, they're going to do anything and everything that I tell them to do because they've already experienced working with me and they're coming back. But it's that first time client that we have to start this reciprocation. So if somebody wants a quote from me, normally I say, hey, send me a mortgage statement. Send that over right away. And that way, I'm not just giving you numbers that you don't really know what they mean, but I'm going to help compare. You're going to see behind the scenes, how long is it extending my mortgage? What goals, benefits are we accomplishing? And they're going to be like, wow, I just learned so much. Run my credit, do whatever. I'm going to do anything
Sure.
and everything. And so I feel like it's a good reciprocation process so they can kind of get used to that relationship.
Yeah.
And if I'm too busy and don't call them back, because that's what a lot of people do, then we didn't waste an inquiry and they just feel like they got, wasted that effort.
Sure.
And so they can learn if we are a good match.
So a lot of the mortgage broker clients that I talk to, they don't even use iSoftpull on guys that say I have an 800. It's the client when they say I have a 630, right? But I'm seeing back and forth. So what's the hesitation there?
My hesitation is, the next step is really income. Because, if I don't value and respect my time, then I certainly wouldn't be valuing or respecting theirs. So I explained to them that, this is a very busy, demanding industry. And if you want your file to get cut in front of the line, give me all your income docs. And not everything, because everybody gets overwhelmed. I just need certain things for certain types of income. So as long as we're moving right along, but once I get to income and I don't have any debts, I'm still moving slower than I would like. Because then it's still that bounce back and forth. And
so what do you get? You get their tax returns, or you get?
Yeah, at that point, if I don't know, I get their tax returns. So
Right.
It really just depends on the type of income. So a lot of misunderstanding is people feel like a W-2 borrower, if they're just employed somewhere, salary,
Sure.
I don't need tax returns.
W-2.
I just probably need one W-2 depending on how long they've been there and the 2 most recent pay stubs. Do I need 2 months checking statements? Not if they're taking cash out or don't have rental properties. So inexperienced loan officers kind of nickel and dime people, and it gets very exhausting.
Right.
So I consider it kind of like, the heavy lifting for the borrower is understanding where's my income coming from? What documents do I need to document that? And I believe less is more. So if somebody comes to me and they've got 10 asset statements and all of this, I don't need that. I have to keep pinging them when those docs expire. But if the loan doesn't require the savings, then why would I put it in the file? Right? And so just, better understanding what you need from the borrower. And then as soon as I have income, and if the debt ratios are tight, or even if they're not, I might say, hey, let's just go one more step and, do the soft pull. That way I'm like $3 in, and yes, my time is valuable, but $3, in rather than $50 and their inquiry. And then I turn around and say, sorry, you have an auto lease that you co-signed for that you forgot to tell me. And, then there becomes that discovery phase where I'm problem solving, because There might be more ways to qualify them, especially now that I've been doing this for 20 years, not 2.
Right.
You've seen a lot. And so you learn how to get around problems. So having that soft pull up front saves me all that time, because what if there is another mortgage on there? Oh yeah, I forgot. My brother does that. That's his house. I don't pay for it. And it's like, well, does he send you money, or does he pay for it from an account with only his name on it? Oh no, he sends me money. Oh, do you not report it as a rental? Great. Well, you're doing that backwards. And now I can't qualify him. And maybe I just spent 2 weeks, understanding the income. So I do think it's important.
Is good?
Absolutely. So that you can see, because the iSoftpull breaks it down so that it says real estate, non-real estate expenses.
Is that helpful?
Right? Sure, because I already have their mortgage statement, or they tell me what they're, financing. And if that's $3,000 or $4,000 a month, but I see $10,000 a month in real estate, they forgot to tell me something.
Sure.
Right. And a lot of people try to be underwriters just by common sense, and, that just doesn't really work. So I'd rather be that filter process. You show me and tell me everything, but we may not need to put everything in the file. So it just depends, what type of loan you're asking for.
So do you find it's easier to get those debts on a soft pull than I assume you traditionally would have done a hard pull to get the debts?
I would traditionally do, right? Yep. And that's changed from maybe like $20 to about $50 per pull.
Over time, right?
Over time, I've been doing this for 20 years. So I think it used to be somewhere around $15, but those would also rack up. So every time you run a finding from another software company, even though it's just the computer pinging the information, they'll charge you, So
Sure.
Credit reports used to get up to well over 100, especially if you're doing credit repair and that type of thing.
If you're doing joint too?
Yeah, well, yep. I found a good company that, but it's still $45, and at least I don't get the nickel and dime all the way through. But it's expensive. We have thousands of dollars in credit report, fees. And so this allows me to basically, for the cost of 3 credit reports, roughly, I can run as many, as I want, to limit my time and effort into a file to later find out that they forgot to tell me about the new auto loan they signed for their kid, or the student loans that have deferred payments, or the house that their brother's been paying for.
So
just
do you look
things.
at the total at the top, and then if it's bigger than what they assumed, do you drill down?
I go straight to the bottom. I look at the monthly, and then I'll bulk that into the file if it says non-real estate debts. And if my ratios are still really low, then it's a moot point. I just keep explaining the benefit to the borrower.